What is up, internet? It's your boy Ash here with another movie review. Today we're going to talk about Snoop Dogg's newest film, The Underdoggs. Now, The Underdoggs is exclusively on Amazon Prime if you want to watch it, so go check it out there. Now, a little interesting fact, I didn't even know about this at all, but at the end of the movie there's a little message that says that the film was actually inspired by the Snoop Dogg youth football team that he started in 2005. So, for about 19 years now, he's been doing good work with a bunch of young athletes to help them reach that next level, to help them go pro. And that's something I definitely admire. You know, that's something admirable. I didn't know that. It's a feel-good little fact about the movie. But without further ado, let's get into it. The movie begins with Snoop Dogg, who is a retired football pro. His name is JJ. And basically, like, I wouldn't say he's irrelevant, but he's not very liked. You know what I mean? If I had to describe this movie, if you ever watched the show Eastbound and Down, this is exactly that. This is literally just Eastbound and Down, but as a movie. So, that being said, he's kind of a washed up football player that nobody likes because he's very arrogant. His number one thing was always that he only depended on himself. That's something he repeats throughout the movie. You can't depend on nobody, you can't confide in anybody. It's just you gotta depend on yourself, and I actually respect that message. I hate that Hollywood always pushes that message is bad when really it's not. I mean, look how many motherfuckers have been killed by their own friends. Everyone says that Pac was killed by Suge Knight, so it's like you really can't trust motherfuckers out here. You can't. You gotta rely on yourself, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have a family. That shouldn't mean you shouldn't have friends. It's like, no, at the end of the day, we're all human and we all fuck up. They're gonna disappoint you. Your friends are gonna disappoint you. Your family disappoint you. It's about choosing your battles, though. You know what I mean? It's about choosing which people are gonna let you down in the softest way. You know what I mean? Because everyone's gonna let you down, no matter what. Whether it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your
everybody knows this right here. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. Your dog, your cousin. It doesn't matter who it is. Everybody lets you down at one point or another. That's just life, man. You gotta only rely on yourself. But it's very bad when you're selfish, when all you think about is yourself and you don't think about helping others. So we see Snoop Dogg trying to meet with his manager, and like while he's leaving, he actually ends up getting run over by a fucking bus. The bad part is he's actually put on probation because of this, because he was speeding. So, you know, not only does he have to go fucking injured to the hospital, but now he has to work doing community service in the LBC. After 20 years, JJ goes back home and he's cleaning up shit out of the park, and these students, not students really, they're little kids, but they're little football players. They start making fun of him. They just rag on him. They step on his shoes. They call him washed up. They call him homeless. So, like, this pisses him off, and he's going back and forth with these kids, and he realizes one of these kids named Trey is actually the son of JJ's, one of his old flings named Charisse. So, you know, this is when he decides to make the plan with his friend Mike Epps. I don't remember Mike Epps' character name in the fucking movie, so I'm just gonna call him Mike. So JJ and Mike decide to use the community service that he's been allotted as an excuse to get closer to Charisse. So what he does is the kids in the football team have no coach because all their coaches always give up on them. They're always leaving. So they sign up, well, JJ signs up to be the coach. And, you know, at first he doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's really flashy. He's really arrogant. Like, during their first game, he goes against this guy who's just shit talking him online all the time. There's this one guy. It's like his arch rival in the movie. So just keep him in mind. I don't remember his fucking name either. He's not really important. He shows up like twice in the fucking movie. But this guy is Snoop Dogg's arch rival. So in the first game, that team destroys, and I mean beats the fuck out of the Underdogs. The Underdogs get fucking pummeled, and this pisses off Snoop Dogg. But, you know, since he's on probation and he has to keep working with the kids, you know, he keeps doing it his way. Along the line, he has a change of heart.
because he sees that Sharice's son Trey has a lot of potential. Like, the kid is a lot like, he's actually exactly like Snoop Dogg, to the point where JJ is like, are you sure that's not my kid? And Sharice is like, you fucking wish this was your kid. But the kid's got a lot of talent, and he like scores points for them. So he decides, like, this really like inspires him, and like he ends up going to visit his old high school coach, played by George Lopez. And like while he's talking to George Lopez, he like notices this old couch that used to always be there, even back when he was in high school. And he's like, man, you still got this old beat up couch? And George Lopez says to him, well, man, like, this couch has been with me for so long. Yeah, I'll be able to replace it whenever the fuck I want. But like, so many players have come here, so many memories have been made on this couch. It's still a good couch, and players still come in here when they need to talk to me about shit. And this one's JJ is like, holy shit, you just use your mind tricks on me, bro. Your Jedi mind tricks. You're comparing the couch to the people I'm fucking coaching. And you're telling me that even though they're diamonds in the rough, if I believe in them, I can start molding them to be better players. And then George Lopez is like, I didn't know you were a fucking coach. So JJ leaves, newly inspired, and this is when like he starts taking their training seriously. And eventually he ends up buying them like really fancy uniforms. You know, Mike Epps is his assistant coach, sorry. And like they end up getting these 2 guard dogs. It's hilarious as fuck. But like, putting his faith into the kids really makes them shine, because now they have the confidence to believe in themselves. They didn't have any confidence. They were always like, oh, we're gonna lose. We always lose, and our coaches hate us for it. But now that he believes in them, they actually start playing a lot better, and they start winning games, and a lot of players start shining. Like, my personal favorite character, and this is a character that is called Ghost. And Ghost is always seen wearing this fucking helmet. Like, they don't take off their helmet for any reason whatsoever. But Ghost is a fucking machine when it comes to playing the game. They fucking knock motherfuckers down left and right. They be doing savage fucking plays. Everyone's scared of Ghost, and they say that Ghost is crazy. And you know, during one of the games, Ghost is knocked down and the helmet flies off, and you see it's actually been a girl the entire time. So this surprises everyone. They're like, holy shit. But everyone just like embraces it, and I love that about this movie. Everybody embraces Ghost. She is personally my favorite character. I love the character. You know, she's a lot like me in a way. She's silent. She's and she's dedicated to what she does. You know what I mean? She doesn't bullshit. She doesn't fuck around. She does in the movie a little bit, but only when it's like appropriate. When it comes down to the game, she is locked in. She's always ready. She's always doing her part. And I feel like that's a lot like me. Whenever there's bullshit that comes my way, I ignore all the bullshit. I ignore all the crap. I'm only goal oriented, and that's a lot like Ghost. So I love this character. Ghost is my favorite character, even though she has like fucking 5 lines in the whole movie. So yeah, I mean, they actually end up shining. Like, the public's perspective of JJ completely does a 180, and now everybody loves him. Like, this one dance that he used to do whenever he used to make touchdowns, where he's like smoking like 2 blunts and shit, like, it actually comes back. It makes a comeback because Trey popularizes it, doing it every single time he makes a touchdown. And it's seen throughout the movie that Trey really admires JJ because he's watching all his old clips on YouTube. He literally acts and says everything that JJ does. He's a carbon copy of the man. No, he's not his son. It's not a plot twist in the movie. Guarantee you right now, he is not JJ's son. But JJ is his role model. He looks up to him, like, a lot. And, you know, JJ appreciates this. And, you know, he uses the opportunity to get closer to Sharice. So, you know, public perception changes. Towards the end of the movie, JJ's manager, who has been just completely an asshole to him and ignoring him for the most part of the movie, actually calls JJ back. And he's like, yo man, so I have like this one client who's super in love with you, he's super obsessed with you, and he's got connections over at Fox, and he wants you to make your own show. Basically, he wants you to host your own show, and it's a golden opportunity. All you have to do is show up on Sunday. But the problem is, Sunday is the finals for the team. this is their final game, you know what I mean? And it's like they need their coach to be there, so all the kids get mad and sad, and they call Snoop Dogg a cunt and a fucking, oh, you're just like all our other coaches, bro. You're just like all our other coaches. So Sunday comes by, and Snoop Dogg isn't there to support the Underdogs. You know, they're about to start their game, and the coach isn't there. But, you know, we cut away back to Fox when all the hosts of the... I don't know what the show is called. I don't fucking watch sports. But you know, when they're on the table and they're talking about football, they're like, oh, hey, we'd like to introduce the newest member of our family, JJ. And this is when, like, it really snaps. JJ has, like, flashbacks of the kids, and he's like, you know what, fuck this, I gotta go pee. So he leaves, and all the fucking hosts of the Fox show start dissing him live on the air. They're like, oh, I never even like that motherfucker anyways. So you cut back to the finals game, and it shows up that Snoop Dogg actually makes it on time. But the game goes horrifyingly. I mean, it goes awfully, because during the first game, like the very first game of the movie, Snoop Dogg's team gets into a fight where they get disqualified, and like one of the kids ends up fucking hitting the ref with a chair in the eye. So this really pisses off the ref, and he's the same ref in the final fucking game. So he's making fake calls left and right. He is going actively out of his way to sabotage the Underdogs. Like, that's not even a fucking joke. Every time they make a touchdown, he makes some bullshit excuse to why it doesn't count. It's like, oh, foul. Oh, excessive, I don't fucking know football terms, okay? I'm sorry. I can't tell you what play, but he makes a bunch of fucking fake ass play. Every single time they win a touchdown, he's like, no, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. And like, for some reason, everyone like just allows it to happen. Like, the ref just fucking cheats. He completely cheats in the first half of the game, and the first half ends 34-0. Like, they are fucking losing hard. So the Underdogs are like, what the fuck are we gonna do, man? This isn't fair. The ref is fucking straight up cheating. The ref is cheating, and there's nothing we can do about it. But this is when Trey is like, you know what, man, fuck this. We're the Underdogs. We've been eating shit our entire fucking lives. We've been told no our entire lives. Like, what's one more setback to us? What really is one more setback in a lifetime full of setbacks? We're gonna go out there and we're gonna kick some ass. So they sport the old jerseys that they used to have before Snoop Dogg comes in, and like they bring out the dogs, and all of a sudden you see like they're playing rougher, they're locked in, all the fucking, they make a comeback. Basically they make a comeback, and it's like everyone starts asking, oh, why isn't the ref like cheating like he was in the first half? And you show that the two guard dogs that Snoop Dogg had actually bit like the referee in the ass, and they're like, oh, you know, they're keeping watch on him so he doesn't cheat anymore. But it comes down to the final 3 seconds of the match. They're at 34-35. They're like 1 point down, really. And all they have to do is make one touchdown, and Snoop Dogg's like, okay guys, we can do this. Like, I was in the same position like fucking 20-40 years ago. I don't know how old the motherfucker is in the movie. He's like 20 years ago, ballpark estimate, 20 years ago, I was in this exact same position. We could do it. I like how I didn't say position correctly there. I'm just gonna keep that in the video though. So unfortunately they make the kick, and they're like, oh, we're gonna make a trick play. They pass the ball to this kid who like they usually don't pass the ball to. They keep him as like I don't even know. The kid never shined. So they're like, our trick play is we're gonna kick it to the one player they don't expect it to. And unfortunately the kid fucks up. Like, he doesn't make the touchdown, and like everyone actually starts like telling the kids, hey, keep your head up, and like all the kids start celebrating. They're like, you know what, fuck it. Like, they take the loss with their heads held high. They are not sore losers. Like, they're really good sportsman fucking behavior. Like, they shake the hands of the other team, and they're like, you know what, you may have won this time, but next season we're gonna get y'all asses. Just watch, man. And it's beautiful because it's like the movie even itself ends with a JJ dialogue. He's like, sure, America loves to see an underdog win, but when they lose, like, I think that's even more inspiring, because an underdog never allows himself to be beaten. They don't quit. They keep going, and they use their loss as an excuse to go even harder next time. And it's like, I actually like that. I know. Like, I've seen reviews on the internet where everyone just shits on the movie for that. They're like, oh, it's corny, it misses, this feel-good message is bullshit. I actually like it, though. Like, because every other movie in existence, the team, like, ends up winning. They always win. But I love movies like Star Wars, for example, where fucking Luke Skywalker gets his hand cut off and he finds out Darth Vader is his father. I love movies that end on a bad note. Because that's life. That's true to life. Life doesn't have happy endings. We don't ride off into the sunset. We don't get the girl, you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, you end up eating a lot of shit in your life, and one tenth of the time is when something good actually happens to you, and that's taken away rather quickly. And that's the beauty of life. That's what I love, movies that are open-ended, because it's like the story doesn't end here, but you know in your heart that the characters have grown, they've changed. The kids aren't the same kids as they were in the beginning of the movie. They learn to be confident. They learn to believe in themselves. They learn to believe in others. Just like JJ, he also learned to stop being egotistical. He learned to care for other people and how to embrace the people who are on his side, because that's the whole message of the movie. Don't push away the people who are on your side. Like, embrace them, and you can go further than you ever imagined. And that's a valuable lesson. It's a feel-good movie without being fucking it's corny, but it's not, what's the fucking word? It's corny, but I wouldn't say it's completely cookie cutter. I like the little twist at the end, you know what I mean? If it was completely cookie cutter, if it was completely an original film, they would have just won and everybody would have been happy. But it's like, no, they take the L and they take it with grace, and they use it as an excuse to go even harder next time. And like, Snoop Dogg gives up that show so he can be with the kids, you know what I mean? So it's really feel good. I actually liked it. You know what I mean? It's a Snoop Dogg movie. You kind of have to expect it to be what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's not me hating on Snoop Dogg or anything. But, like, I think I've only ever seen 2 other Snoop Dogg movies. I watched Soul Train. And the other one, I'm going to make another video on it, so I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to make my next video, guaranteed, will be on the other Snoop Dogg movie that I just watched. It was my first time watching it, so you guys are going to be, like, pleasantly surprised. It's going to be a good review. But for this one, I liked it. I think it's definitely a movie you should watch with your family, the Underdoggs. It's beautiful, man. Like, it's fucking hilarious because they put all these kids in these crazy, zany situations. Like, everybody's cursing at the kids, cursing in front of the kids get drunk. You know what I mean? The kids are always talking about dicks. It's true to life. I hate how fucking movies always, like, make kids to be out these perfect little angels who never do wrong. Like, no, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. When I was fucking growing up, I would grow up watching fucking Family Guy. I grew up watching fucking Steve Wilkos, Jose Luis, you know what I mean? Jerry Springer. I grew up watching all this trash TV. I knew what sex was when I was 5 years old. I knew what drugs were when I was 5 years old. I was surrounded by it. In my surrounding area, everybody was having sex. All the adults were having sex. Some of them were even having sex with kids. Like, you know what I mean? Some of them were giving drugs to kids. That's just how it is. It's unfortunate, but that's how the real world is. So that's why even in the beginning of the movie, there's this message that's like, this movie is not intended for kids. But let's be honest, all the badass little kids know more bad words than we do. And it's true, bro. Like, you gotta... I'm not saying don't protect our kids, but stop treating them like they're fucking idiots. Kids aren't stupid. Kids are smarter than us, and they're going to be smarter than us, because that's how the next generation is. They take all the knowledge we have and they add on to it. Like, so I'm really happy that this movie isn't afraid to go raunchy, even though it has an all-kid cast. Because let's be honest, man, like, when we were young, fuck, we were doing the worst, bro. Like, I was watching porn at like age 11, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I watched this movie as a kid, it would be completely nothing to me. As a kid, I would watch Pineapple Express every single year on my birthday. That's a tradition I've actually like carried on for a while. I love watching that movie on my birthday. But for this movie, I'll give it a solid like a 5 out of 10. It's not terrible. It's not the best movie. It's a very feel-good movie. I came out of the movie feeling really fucking good. Like I felt inspired. Which, you know, it's a really weird thing to admit, to be honest. I wouldn't say it's a weird thing to say because like just lately, because of my PTSD and my BPD, like I can't watch a movie without like getting emotionally invested. Back when I was a kid, I wouldn't give a fuck, but now like at the slightest sad thing in a movie, I start fucking breaking down in tears and shit. So this movie did get to me, but you know what I mean? I know how everyone else on the planet can look at this movie and be like, oh, you know, it's just a movie. It's a good movie. It's definitely a good movie, and I definitely recommend you watch it with your family. You know what I mean? Expect there to be a lot of cursing, a lot of bad words, a lot of crude humor, and, you know, sexual content. But at the end of the day, it's nothing worse than what your kids are already fucking watching. I guarantee, like, most kids watch Rick and Morty and shit. And Rick and Morty has fucking a grandpa hitting on his grandson every 5 minutes. It's fucking weird and disturbing. And I don't know why it's popular. It's disgusting. But, you know, it is what it is. Kids like what they like. So, I feel like if you're a Snoop Dogg fan and you got your kid into Snoop Dogg, I think this is a movie you can both sit down and watch and enjoy. So, I highly recommend it. It's a good film. You know, like, I know the 5 out of 10 rating may make you think like, that doesn't sound too high. That sounds like mid. It's just like, come on. It's a Snoop Dogg film, bro. Like, you can't expect it to be fucking a Martin Scorsese film. It's a Snoop Dogg film, and I enjoy Snoop Dogg films. So don't let the rating deter you. Go watch the movie for yourself. Go make your own assessment. I have been your host, Ash, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate y'all. Remember to listen to my podcast on Spotify and on my second channel, The Lemonade Standard. Subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Out.